Sid's been going good. Phil Kessel has got himself in an MVP conversation. What do you attribute this turnaround and the year-long play?
It's just the fact that we got through the first half where we didn't have the energy that we'd like to have. You know, it's for all the obvious reasons. 2 short off seasons, relatively tough schedule to start with, travel-wise, and back-to-back games, and we just couldn't get the energy level. But once we got to the second half, we're playing with more determination now, and playing more the way the Penguins are capable of playing.
How tough is it for you to stay patient during that type of process? Do you have this list of things that you go to and read down and remind yourself, or how do you handle it?
You know, you just got to go with the flow at that point. It wasn't a matter of guys not preparing for games or trying to get ready or conditioning. It was just the circumstances, and so there's really not a whole lot you can say at that point. You could try to change players, but I didn't think that was the answer, because you're not necessarily going to get better players if you make trades. And so we had to ride it out. I think once we got to the midway point in the season, if it had continued, then I probably would have had to been more aggressive at that point.
You know, Jim, I give your team, in recent years, the rationalization Stanley Cup hangover isn't used so much anymore, but I would think, particularly when you win back-to-back in a lot of ways, is it the mental part that's the toughest thing to get going again?
Well, yes, certainly the mental part, physically a little bit, but our players take good care of themselves. But I would say the mental part. I mean, you're going at the highest pace possible, you know, April through June, and then you come back in to play preseason games, regular season games. And the other fact is that every team is bringing their A-plus game to play. I mean, they want to beat the Stanley Cup champions to see how they stack up and how they've improved their teams this year. So that's a big factor. I mean, I can't remember in the first half of the season when one of the opposing goalies, he was either picked as first star or he should have been. I mean, the goaltending was exceptional, and the teams that we played just played great games. So it's good for us in the long run because you have to deal with adversity, and as long as we stick with it like we did, it'll just make us stronger as the season goes along.